What's up, Homebrew Wednesday homebrewers? Jake Punnett coming at you. That cracks me up. Jake CPU Nut coming at you. Some of you will get that, some of you won't. Uh, Before I get into what I was going to show you, I was going to throw it out there. I didn't even really hear of anybody mentioning if they got any good deals like on Black Friday or anything through Thanksgiving on any homebrew stuff. The only thing I really scored was Keg Connection had some keg sales going on, so I got a couple of more corny kegs. These are racetrack lid style, and I've never had any of those, but they're ball locked just like everything else I have. And to be honest with you, I wished I'd have won it. Well, actually, they had a limit. Now that I think about it, one of those were 19 bucks, and it was a grade B style or something, and the other one was like 20. I don't remember what they were now. They were cheap. I know one of them was 19 and the other one was like 27, maybe something like that. But they both look really good, so I was tickled to death. So now I have two, four. I've got one sitting back here that's got a post problem. 5. And that root beer keg's got a post problem. 6. Got 3 in the kegerator. That's 9. And yeah, that's all I got. 9 kegs. So that should do me. I don't think I'll need any more than that. So should be good to go on kegs. So like I said, I don't know if any of you got any good deals, but that's the deal I got. Uh, what I was going to talk to you about tonight is this. Yep, that's what I want to talk to you about. Overcarbonated. Overcarbonation in your kegs. And that's actually on purpose. I had mentioned, I think in my props video, I had poured a couple of beers. This is the Bell's clone we attempted again, our second attempt. And I poured that in the Arrogance of Bastard, which is a Arrogant Bastard clone. Uh, yeah, I sent some beers into a competition, and I learned earlier this year from my first competition that if I bottle beers from my keg, and some of you may know this, I can never remember how many of you keg and then bottle from your keg or whatever. Sorry, I had a drink of beer since I got home, so he was calling my name. But earlier this year in a competition I entered, the very first one that I entered this year, it was the results were that the beer was flat, and I noticed that myself. I figured it out, kind of along the way that if I bottle, yeah, usually I set my PSI on about 12 for my system, and if I bottle from this using the Bowie bottle adapter, and if you keg and bottle from the keg and don't have that product, then you better get it because it's an awesome product. But if I do that at 12 psi, it's just the carbonation won't hold long, especially if I do like 4 or 5 or 6 bottles. Um, they're undercarped into the bottle. So whew, foam went down the wrong way. Ugh. And there's nobody here to survive me, to revive me. if I get choked. So, what was I talking about? So basically, what I have learned is that I need to jack up the carbonation on my beers if I'm going to bottle them for a competition. And I actually did that in the other competition I won. I've done a video on it. Yeah, I posted that video. It was a long, drawn-out video about my beer scores and all that. And I got really good scores, and the carbonation level was better and all that. So I just had entered these 3 beers in a competition that happened this past weekend. And I won't share the results of that yet, but because I hadn't got the sheets or anything yet. But that's why this beer and the other beer that I poured in the other video that you saw, the Arrogance of Bastard, was so overcarbed because I was bottling for a competition. Burp. So, how do you fix that? Actually, it's really simple. And I learned about it on Homebrew Talk. Try not to get choked. Actually, I had overcarbed by mistake. I don't know, a few batches ago. I usually crank my beers up, my PSI up to like 30 for a day or two, and I'd one extra day or something other, and it was overcarbed, and I couldn't get it to come down. I released pressure and do all that crap and shake it, and it just wasn't overcarbed. So I found this thread on Homebrew Talk and found a really easy way to, I guess it would be called degassing the beer, but to make it right after it's been overcarbonated. So I'm going to show you that if you'll give me a minute just to get set up here. The keys are lid open, and I poured a couple more beers, and just to show you they're still overcarbed. Sometimes with a kegerator system, the first pour will be really overcarbed, which actually the first one was worse than this, but just to show you that they are coming out overcarbed after like 3 pours. So if you know about, this is the corny for the Bell's clone that I'm pouring off of. If you know about cornies at all, you know you've got your gas in and your beer out. This beer out tube goes all the way to the bottom of the keg, all the way down the big long tube. So basically what I will do is turn the gas off, and you can see my gauges are set on 15, so obviously they're overcarbed. Turn the gas off, release the pressure, then I'll turn it down to a couple notches to probably what it should be. That should take it down to about 12. And then I'm going to do this. I'm going to unhook the beer outside and just kind of set it over to the side. Oh, and I remember that's got a leak. And take the CO2 side and snap it on the beer inside. That's the way you'll hook it up. Makes sense? And I did spill some beer because I couldn't get it pushed down there quick enough. But then I'll just turn my CO2 back on, and you can hear it bubbling. And when it stops bubbling, I'll just release it. And it'll stop bubbling again. Basically, it's just pushing CO2 down through that tube at the bottom and kind of degassing the beer, pushing all that CO2 out of it. And usually about 3 times is plenty. Sometimes you'll get a little foam when it gets to where it's to the point to where it needs to stop. I'm going to do it one more time here after it stops bubbling. Yeah, start getting a little bit out right there, so I'm going to shut the CO2 off. And I'm going to put the camera down so I can unplug that post without making a mess. Okay, I've got everything hooked back up. Beer outline back up to the outpost, CO2 back into the CO2 in, and got my CO2 turned back on, and pressure turned up to about 11 or 12 there, and it'll probably itch back up a little bit, but I'm just going to set this camera down here and grab a fresh glass and do a pour. Check that out. It does make a difference. Of course, I got my beer cloudy now. Probably no, actually, it's not. I started saying where I jerked that keg around. Might have got some sediment loosened up, but yeah, that makes a huge difference from that first pour, the first 2-3 pours, you know, a while ago when I had it over carb. But the beer's still good and carbonated. Got a lot of bubbles rising. It just degasses it and puts it really like it should be. So I know there's science behind it, and I've read it. I'm not going to try to explain it. So I hope that get choked again. Hope that helps some of you that maybe have had an overcarb problem on your kegs. I know some of you bottle and it won't make a crap to you, but there you go. Jake's overcarbed keg problem fix. Not mine, actually. I read about it and just sharing it with you. But go Beastie Boys. Later.